Hi, this is Ron. I'd like to explain my Blackjack program that I developed in C# Windows Forms. I'd like to describe some of the features of the program first, and then I'll do a demonstration of how the Blackjack program works. The uh, the program I built, as I said, is in Windows Forms, and what you're seeing now is the Form one class design window. So I'll go over some of the features of how I laid out that window. There's a split container on the form that dominates most of the form, and it's split into an upper and a lower half. The upper half, which is red, is the dealer area of play. The bottom half, which is green, is the player area of play. This blackjack game is a dealer versus one player version of blackjack. Each of the halves of the split container have 11 picture boxes in them to contain the images of the cards as the game proceeds. 11 because the maximum possible number of cards that a player could have is 11, although in reality that's virtually impossible for that to happen. But nevertheless, there are 11 there in the event that that were to occur. On the right hand part of the screen are the buttons and the windows that allow the player to control the play of the game. At the top is the deal button. That button is the one that is used to start the play of the game. Below that is the game status message box, which continuously displays messages that explain what the status of the game is, whether the player or the dealer has won or lost. It also displays for every hand throughout the course of the time the player plays the game, the cumulative total of chips that the player has accumulated or lost from his bets. Below that is the betting drop-down menu that has 4 values that the player can select for placing bets. Then at the bottom on the right-hand side of the form is the hit button, which allows the player to determine whether he would like to take additional cards beyond the first 2-card deal. And then when the player has decided they don't want to take any more cards, the stand button transfers the action of the game to the dealer side, at which point the play becomes automatic. The other 2 features on the right-hand side of the screen at the top, next to the dealer name, is a point total display window that shows the card point total of the dealer as the game proceeds, and a similar window next to the player's name. Let's go ahead now and start the game, and I'll show you how it works. It'll take a few seconds here to start up. I would like to explain that the card images used for this game are actually all in one file. It's like one image file, one PNG file that it's like a large sheet of 52 cards. And there's code in the program that actually goes in and locates the card that's needed during the course of the play and essentially cuts that image out of the larger PNG file and uses it for the gameplay. It's kind of an interesting feature because it avoids having to have 52 images stored somewhere in your program. And in my program, that one file that contains all the images is contained in the resources file. So I've started the game up, and one thing that you will notice at the beginning of the game in the status window, there's a welcome to Blackjack message, and then a very brief description of some of the features and the rules of the game. As you'll see, it says here that each hand is a 52-card deck, which means that after every hand the deck is reshuffled, the cards are dealt from a fresh 52 card deck again. The dealer stands on 17 or more, which is based on casino rules. The blackjack bet payout, if the winner gets a blackjack, the payout is 3-2, as opposed to a 1-1 payout for just a normal win. And I should mention before I go further that the method of play that I designed into this is based on casino rules, and at least as they were described on the bicyclecards.com website. So if you go to that website and go to their blackjack section, it will describe the play for blackjack. This game is a basic blackjack game. It does not contain the ability or allow the player the ability to split hands or double down or buy insurance. It's a basic blackjack order of play. So we'll play a few hands and I'll demonstrate how the game works. First, you go to the betting drop-down menu and select the value. You can select 0 if you don't choose to bet or don't choose to see how you're doing over the course of multiple hands. But I'll pick 50. And then the next thing to do is to press the deal button, at which time the cards will be dealt, again, just as in a casino play, with the first card going to the player face up, the second going to the dealer face up, the third card going to the player face up, and the fourth card going to the dealer face down. Now, the player has a choice. There's 17 points showing. You can choose to hit and take a card or stand. I'll choose stand in this case. And then the play is automatic, as I mentioned at that point. The dealer has to play according to casino rules, which is that the dealer will take cards until the dealer's point total reaches 17 or more, regardless of what the player has. So in this case, the dealer won. The dealer got a face card, a queen, and a 19, and you'll notice that we lost the player lost the 50 chip bet, and so now the cumulative winnings are negative 50. So try another hand. We'll bet 20 this time and deal. So the player won automatically, as I described before. On a blackjack, the player will win automatically if the player has a blackjack and the dealer does not. That's actually blackjack on the initial deal is a feature that's built into the code in this program. There are 3 possibilities there, of course. One is what we just saw, that the player gets a blackjack and the dealer does not. The other possibility is that the dealer gets a blackjack and the player does not, in which case the dealer automatically wins and the player loses his chips. The third possibility is that both the player and the dealer have blackjack, and in that case it's called a push, and the player neither wins nor loses. He retains his chips. When you have a situation where one of those 3 situations occurs on the initial deal, the dealer's card, hold card, will be flipped up automatically. So the situation can be determined. One of those 3 situations can be determined. So we'll try another hand. We'll bet 10 this time, and we'll deal. This time the player has 11. Obviously that means you should take a card. So we'll hit. It's 13 now. That's still a pretty low point total, which would be more than likely easily beaten by the dealer. So we'll take another hit. Now we're at 20. We'll stand. So now, as I mentioned before, this game plays according to casino rules. the player had a point total of 20. When the dealer's whole card was flipped over, the dealer had 19, which is not going to beat the player, obviously, but according to casino rules, the dealer will take cards until the dealer reaches a point total of 17 or more. So in this case, the game was over. The dealer took no more cards and the player won. So we will go and play one more hand to show how this works. Obviously, there's a lot of different combinations of hands one might get, demonstrate different features. I can't guarantee which ones are going to come up here. So we'll just play some hands and see what happens. Player has a point total of 9. Take a hit. 16 is an iffy situation to take another card, although the dealer is showing 6, which is generally considered a weak card, so we'll stand and we'll see what happens. Well, in this case, the dealer took another card and got 20, so the dealer wins. So after 3 or 4 hands, the player is 30 chips in the hole, has lost 30 chips. So now we understand why there's so many big fancy buildings and casinos in Las Vegas. Anyway, that is a demonstration of my Blackjack game built with C# Windows forms. Thanks for listening.